Hello, welcome to Recent Reads. What have I read and all that since my last video, which I believe was my May wrap up. I am going strong, y'all. It's so good. So good. First, let me talk about, okay, so good, but let me talk about a DNF. Hemlock Silver by Kingfisher. Yeah, I have this on audio. Typically at this point, Kingfisher is like an auto buy for me and my husband. He loves Kingfisher as well. This one is her kind of Snow White retelling-ish kind of situation, and it features a poison mistress, master, healer person named Anya, who is brought in by the king to help his daughter Snow, who is very sick, and trying to figure out poison is one of his last resorts to figure out what's going on with her. I got about 50% through, and I was just like, I don't know if it was the audio. I don't know if it was the fact that I was reading other good stuff. I don't know if it's the fact that it's a retelling that's doing it to me, but everything about this was annoying me, which typically is not the case in a Kingfisher. Anya was annoying me. The pacing, the pacing is so slow. That was annoying me. It got to like 50%. And only about 40 to 50% is where things really start to ramp into the actual plot and figuring out what's going on. Now, Kingfisher is taking this in an interesting direction. I was just not interested by 50%. And like I did soft DNF this, but the more I talk about it, I don't know if I'm going to go back to it. I'll have my husband read it. He'll read it and see what he says. But I'm also kind of feeling like Kingfisher's actual fairy tale retellings don't actually do it that much for me. Like Thornhedge was not a hit for me. I'm trying to remember any other. I did not really like what is it? What Moves the Deep? The Edgar Allan Poe retelling, that didn't do anything for me. So maybe Kingfisher doing retellings is not quite doing it for me. So that was Hemlock and Silver. That's how I feel about that. Let's move on to, yeah, you know how I said the reading is going great? Yeah, I forgot. I read 10 Planets by Yuri Herrera. This is a short story anthology, very short story. It's basically flash fiction anthology by author Yuri Herrera. He is a Mexican author. These are stories in translation. I read this for r/fantasy bingo for the 5 short stories square. I didn't quite like this. Yeah. So when I say flash fiction, like I literally mean flash fiction. I mean, some of these stories are like 2 pages long. I'm not kidding. Here, that's the story. And the story's over. It's a page. It's 1 page. And the longest I think is maybe like 10 pages. They're also very strange, and in a way where it's like you don't quite grasp what he's trying to do with the story. Like there's something very strange, and like you're thrown right into whatever setting this is, but you don't quite grasp what he's doing with it. And I think that is just not for me as the kinds of stories that I enjoy. And also I didn't quite know that going into this. I picked this up on a whim when I saw it on the shelf of the bookstore. I think for this one I did not really like read a couple of stories before I bought it. That I think I grabbed this before I started doing that like properly. So I wish I had read some reviews before I bought it so that I knew what I was going into. I think I gave it 2 stars, which in my book is okay, but I don't know. I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it. So maybe a 1.5. It feels low because the quality is not bad. It's not bad quality. I just didn't like any single story in this. I didn't like a single thought experiment. I didn't like a single story, but it's not bad writing. So I think for the audience that this is aimed at, it's going to be fantastic. I am not part of that audience, so unfortunate. Now, the reason I keep saying it's been great reading is because I ended May with The Red Winter, Slow Gods, and then add to the list The Republic of Memory by Mahmud El-Sayed. Y'all, ooh, whoa! Oh, okay, let's talk about this. So, This is, Mahmud El-Sayed describes his writing as Arab futurism. You know, we have Afrofuturism, we've got Arab futurism. This takes place on a generation ship 200 years into its journey to wherever it's going to colonize. And we have a bunch of people living and have been living on this generation ship, and we also have a bunch of people in cryostasis. We follow quite a few characters in different parts of the ship, different areas of society on the ship, and the way that society is set up in this worked with my brain so well. And here is where I'm going to do the first caveat, because I am singing the praises of this book. It is in my top 5 reads of the year so far. And I know when someone praises a book like that, you're going to want to immediately go read it. Please, please, before you buy it, read a sample and get to a point where you hit what this language in here called Nupal. This language is very much a kind of like similar to, I want to say, a Creole or a Pidgin kind of language, similar to the one in A Clockwork Orange. If you watched A Clockwork Orange or read it, you know that Alex and his droogs have their own kind of language that is vaguely English, but with other words interspersed to mean different things, or it's a mixture of languages. Nupal here, because the way society is separated on the ship is that they separated by what languages people spoke, not what their countries were, not the skin color, what languages they spoke. So you have the Ingles section, you have the Arabic section, you have I forget what they call the Japan section. There's just, that's how it's separated. There's a Russian section, there is a Turkish section. So that is how society is separated in this world. They do intermix, but it's also making language such a huge part of this. And that Nupal language is the language of the revolution in this. Nupal is the language that, you know, teenagers use when you hit that rebellious stage. Nupal is a language that all those who are working for revolution and rebellion and a better version of their government are using that. It's the language of the revolution, which I think is so cool. But it also will wrinkle your brain a little bit as you are reading this, and it's just English enough where you're like, I should know what they're saying, but it's just Nupal enough that you're like, ooh, whoa. So like, it would like, the first time I read a sentence in Nupal, my brain came to a screeching, crashing halt. And I was like, oh. And then we go to a character whose entire narrative is in Nupal. And then at some point you just have to go with the flow. Like, I had a lot of fun piecing together some of the language stuff that was going on here. And then a lot of the Nupal, it's like, yeah, I get what they're saying, but I don't actually understand every single word. And that was okay. That was okay. I was happy with that. I was having such a good time with that. There is one example where I was reading it, and it's just one of those things where, because it's 200 years since they left Earth, language has evolved, right? Language is not static. It's going to change and evolve and grow into something new and a little different. There was one, so like I said, we have Arabic, we have Ingles, and there was one where I could not in my mind make it map to a current language. And then there was a line where a character thinks of a phrase or a term, and they think of it in 3 or 4 different languages. So I just sat there and I was saying this word and I was saying the language word out loud, and my husband was sitting next to me reading. He's like, what? So I explained to him, and then we both sat there trying to figure it out. And then I started Googling, and I finally hit on, oh, it's Turkish. And like that, like, light bulb, it was just so, like, I love that. That's what this book was doing for me. This book was simultaneously giving me a great story while also giving me, like, it was working the part of my brain that works when I have dug into philosophy, when I was doing philosophy in school. I loved it so much. And the kind of revolution happening here, yeah, your typical revolution, but it's also a little different. And something happens, there's a big event that happens about halfway through and introduces some new characters into the narrative. That you have your main like couple of characters, and then you have like side characters here and there that come in and out. And it introduces a new character, and it kind of shifts a little bit of the way that you view everything. And one of the fun things that because of the way that everybody was separated by language, the first time that a character's skin color was mentioned at all, again, my brain came to a crashing halt, because I just realized that is the first time any character in this book has described someone with skin color. And I was like, yes! Like, Mahmud al-Sayed has thought this world through so well that he didn't have a single character talk about anyone's skin color. They were always stratified by what part of the ship they worked in and by their language, never skin color, to the point where the first time that I read someone's description of skin color, I like stopped in my tracks while reading. It's so good. And then the ending was so fucking good. Y'all, I loved this. I love this so much. This is what I want people to read when they're looking for interesting, new science fiction that you haven't really read before, but also feels familiar enough with some themes that it is exploring so that you're not completely lost. I want everyone to give this a try, but again, with the caveat that it is doing a lot with language that can unmoor you. So with the caveat that you try it first. Take it from the library, go to the bookstore, read a little bit first. That's the caveat that I'm giving with this, but if it works for you, it is so rewarding. I just love this so much. 5 stars, top 5 book of the year so far. The last like 3 weeks have given me such good reading, y'all. This is so good. This is like the feeling I want to get when I'm reading. Like, this is the feeling. It was so fucking good. Like, it was so good. It was so good. Please read it. After The Republic of Memory, this is a little bit of taking a chance because I was coming off such a big high with The Republic of Memory. And like, I was like, oh my God, that was so great. I fucking love reading. I love books. I want to read something else right now. Wasn't sure. All I knew is that it couldn't be too close to the genre, themes, whatever in Republic of Memory. I've been holding on to this book that I bought as a pure cover buy, Witch Queen Rising by Savannah Stevens. Cover buy. Pure cover buy. It's so good. And it happens to have a description that also interests me. And I started reading it and I was like, it's good. Thank you, universe. It's good. So this is the story of Seraphine. She is a witch who has been away from the community. She left and hasn't been in contact with her family, with the community at all. And at the very start of the book, literally the opening page, she is given the power of the prime, which is the power given by basically what exists as magic in this world, chooses someone who is the prime. And this person is the most powerful, and they also lead the New Orleans witches. Seraphine's mother was the prime, and she is hit with the prime power, and that's not supposed to happen. So Seraphine, because she is given this power, she is dragged back home, and we unpack as she steps into this role. We unpack family trauma, toxic family, like emotional abuse. We unpack all of her like tangled emotions and the fact that she is what everyone calls a tick witch. She's a siphon. She can take magic from someone, like drain magic. So the first time she did that, she was like 5 years old and people were scared of her. And she kind of grew up with this reputation as someone to be afraid of. So the community is afraid of Seraphine being the prime. So she's dealing with all those community expectations and her reputation. She's coming in, she has to deal with figuring out her place in the power structure of New Orleans. There's vampires, there's the troop, which are shifters, there's the fae, the she, and her ex-boyfriend when she was younger is now the head of the troop. So she's dealing with her lingering feelings for him and everything that happened when they were younger. So it is hitting all those urban fantasy beats for me in terms of like, you know, modern fantasy with like all the typical urban fantasy mythologies coming in, the paranormal stuff coming in. Fiend is dealing with a lot of like stuff in her personal life related to all of this stuff. It's ticking all those boxes. Where I am right now, about halfway through, we just got some real like emotional breakthrough for her. And because she is dealing, because she has the power of the prime, it means her mother died. So she's dealing with a lot of complicated family trauma and issues with that on top of it. And it's just so good. I really, really like Fiend. The pacing is slow. It is fast in some regards, but it also feels slow because we're really still in like the first week of her being in this position and figuring things out and learning how the world, her old town, New Orleans, has grown since she was last there. So it's such an interesting take on an urban fantasy of this caliber. I'm enjoying it. It is black as hell, which I love. And again, this cover. So Fiend dresses like this the entire time. She is a queen. It's so good. This is pretty queer friendly as far as I have experienced so far. Also queer friendly, Republic of Memory. Enjoying it so far. It is going to have to do something like completely fumble the ball over the finish line to get less than 4 stars at this moment. Speaking of queer, it is Pride Month. Went to Pride this last weekend. So yeah, it was like May 30th to kick off Pride Month. And there was a bookstore that was there and I was looking around in their little booth and the green Yuri popped out at me. So volume 3 of the guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all. I really like this series. Completely forgot that volume 3 was being translated soon. This is just a really, really cute young adult coming of age series of these two girls falling for each other. It's very good. So I'm going to read this very soon. I like books. Aren't books great? I'm so happy about the Republic of Memory, y'all. Like, just thinking about my feelings after I finish reading it. It's so good. If you read it and you don't like it, I understand. It is a very, like, interesting, exploratory kind of book. And I want people to read it. I want this to be in people's faces. I'm going to talk about it for the rest of the year, okay? We're going to talk about it. If you do read it, please report back. If you don't like it, I will understand. It's okay. But I think everyone should read it. Okay. That is my recent reads. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.